studies report solar activity accounts for more than half of the 20th century warming. Solar activity increased through the 20th century to 1991, the highest in over 8,000 years. Solar activity is predicted to fall during the 2030s to conditions last seen during the Little Ice Age.
It's going to get colder.
There is no evidence of increasing severe weather. There is no significant trend of hurricane activity. Tornadoes require a cold front colliding with warm air. Northern warming makes tornadoes less likely, and their frequency has been declining. There is a small declining trend of global droughts from 1982. The most severe droughts in North America were in the 1930s. There has been no sea level rise on Canada's west coast in 40 years. Global sea level rise has averaged only a tiny 2.5 millimeters per year since 2003 and is not accelerating.
Right, so Ken, can I hold you off for a second there? Sorry to interrupt, but I see that people are kind of clearing out here a bit. I just want to point out that our petition is over here on the north side of the plaza, please. If you could sign the petition, and if you're interested in it, please, we can download the petition from the site, but you have to send an email to petition@carbontaxreferendum.ca, and if you can get in contact with us after the rally, we can certainly hook you up with a petition document yourself. Okay, carry on, Ken.
We need physical signatures.
Okay, yes, sign the petition. Okay, aerial and satellite photos show that 23 of 27 tropical coral islands grew or stayed the same area since 1950 despite sea level rise. Okay, another big thing. CO2 is plant food. And the increase of CO2 since 1950 has enhanced crop yields by over 16%.
CO2, photosynthesis.
CO2 fertilization added $3.2 trillion of value to global crop yields from 1961 to 2011.
CO2 is the cure, not the curse.
That's 3.2 trillion with a T. Recent satellite data shows that our CO2 emissions has caused the greening of the Earth. The greening over the past 33 years is equivalent to adding a green continent, twice the size of the continental USA. The benefits of warming include longer growing seasons, greater area of arable lands, increasing crop yields, lower heating costs, lower construction costs, lower road maintenance costs. The reduced tropics to the Arctic temperature gradient causes fewer severe storms. In the UK, death records show that cold kills 10 times as many people as heat. The death rate in Canada is 100 deaths per day greater in January than in July.
We don't want cold.
The major study of 13 countries finds that cold weather kills globally 20 times as many people as hot weather. Obviously, warming is good. Cold is bad. Okay, wind power is extremely variable and unpredictable, which requires 100% backup from fossil fuel power plants. The variability imposes large costs on the electrical grid and greatly increases the fuel consumption per unit of electricity generated from conventional power plants that are forced to ramp up and down their output to offset the wind's power variability. Ontario's feed-in tariff for wind power is 13 cents per kilowatt hour, about 3.5 times our power costs. Ontario's solar power energy, or about $22 per kilowatt hour, over 6 times our electricity costs.
They want to take us down this green scheme path, just like Ontario. No thanks.
No thanks.
No thanks. Say no to Notley. Say no to Notley's win scenario.
Okay, in Germany, green Germany, right? Green Germany and Denmark have the highest solar plus wind installed capacity in Europe, and they have the highest electricity prices. Hungary has the lowest solar plus wind installed capacity, and it has the lowest electricity prices. All the other countries fall on the line between those. German electricity prices are double that in Canada. The experience of these countries show that the Alberta Climate Plan will result in escalating power costs. In conclusion, the Alberta Climate Plan has no benefit a huge cost on Albertans. The benefits of warming and CO2 fertilization greatly exceeds any social costs. Wind and solar power are extremely expensive and will result in fuel poverty, potential blackouts when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, and escalating electrical power prices. Say no to subsidies for wind and solar companies and say no carbon taxes.
No carbon tax! No carbon tax! No carbon tax!
No carbon taxes.
No carbon tax! Thank you, Ken. Appreciate that. So listen, before you guys all clear out of here, I've been asked to mention these Alberta Strong bracelets here. Maureen down here on the right here, she's selling the Alberta Strong bracelets are about $1 a piece, I believe.
What donation?
Or donations, whatever you feel like giving. It says Alberta Strong on here, and we are strong when we stand together. If we don't stand together, we're just going to get fragmented, and that's exactly what the NDP's ideology is doing. They're actually dividing Albertans against each other over the subject of climate change. I believe this is a democracy in which we are allowed to question the politics, we're allowed to question the science, we're allowed to question the ideas that they're promoting and telling us that we're supposed to believe. And it's okay to oppose. This is what a democracy is all about. It is not a one-sided party. That would be a dictatorship. And this started to feel like more like a dictatorship. So no dictatorship party. No dictatorship party. No dictatorship party. No dictatorship party. This is a democracy. We don't want a dictatorship, and we want a democracy. And in order for us to do that, we have to do things like stand up a petition here, stand up a website. So please, before you leave today, please stand by our table here. Please sign our petition. If you want to download a petition and get one for yourself to distribute, to be able to get signatures, send us an email at petition@carbontaxreferendum.ca. I apologize myself personally for the organization for not having a completed website because I've been busy trying to host a rally. So in the next couple weeks here, we'll see some content get put up on the site, and we'll be able to distribute the petition online, which we are doing right now with a select group of individuals that are organizers from the rally. So in conclusion for today, I would like to hand the mic off to my friend Trevor Marr here. Go Trevor Marr!
Hey guys, hey, I want us all to think for a minute here and use rational thoughts. We need all forms of energy. We live in Canada. We're a big country. We got a sparse population, and it's cold. So we need all forms of energy. We just need to optimize each one. There's no crisis. Greenhouses operate, like we said, at 1,800 parts per million. So we got a long way to get to that when we only have about 400 years of oil left. So we're never going to get to 1,800 anyway. So we're safe. CO2 is not even terminal until 100,000 parts per million. So we're never going to get to that. So there's a lot of people bedwetting over nothing. So I just say use the best energy to suit your given needs. So when I want to power my garden gnomes, I use solar. When I want to fly to Mexico and get away from the cold, I use fossil fuels. And when I want to kill over 100,000 birds a year, I use wind. So stand up for Alberta. Work all together. We've got a lot of opportunity here that we can go ahead with. And in fact, I wish our governments would stand up and they would use the theory that if CO2 is the real demon, then why, ask how much CO2 did the great sand forests of Saudi Arabia take in and convert to oxygen for the world? How much CO2, when they're making oil in the Middle East and they're producing CO2, how much do those forests in the Middle East, how much do they convert to oxygen for the world? Okay, now step back and look at Canada. We're a carbon neutral country. We produce CO2 from our industries, and that CO2 is taken up by all the forests, all the vegetation, and we're a carbon neutral producer. So why are our governments not standing up for Canada and demanding that more oil be produced from Canada because it's being used by everyone, everywhere, for everything. So let's make more oil from Canada and have no CO2 emitted rather than CO2 total 100% emitted from the sand. Okay.
The sand farms of the Saharan forest. Is that the right? The Saharan forest? The Saharan forest out there in Iran. Those guys, they don't got no forest. We got the second largest country in the world. And we have massive amounts of forest. And you're telling me that we're massive polluters of the environment? Please. We have the most highly regulated energy industry in the world. Yeah, so I'm here to promote that. We are proud of Alberta's innovation, proud of Alberta's technology, proud of Alberta's pioneering spirit, and we're going to stand up for that because we're not here to get sucked down this hole by no lofty government ideologists. Yeah. And here, I'm going to pass it off to my friend Maureen here who has something to say about it as well. Thank you, Maureen.
Hi. Normally I don't need a mic, so I'm going to try and talk quiet, not blast you. I'm Maureen Zellmer, and first of all, I'm going to start off by thanking the Calgary crew and Tina Fox for her vision of these rallies. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Great job by the Calgary crew. Couldn't have gone better. And I just want to mention that I'd like to thank one more person, Rachel Notley. I want to thank her because 19 months ago, I did not know anything about politics. As I've written, I was blissfully unaware, and sometimes I wish I could go back to that. It actually has overtaken my life. 19 months ago when she came into it, I had a fantastic job in the oil patch. And 5 months after she came in, I lost my job. And I think actually, to tell you the truth, that it was divine intervention in some ways, because I have become so involved in bringing Alberta back to her former glory. It's what I live for. I wake up in the middle of the night and I want to check Facebook and see what's going on. I am constantly getting fed news. I have not watched a TV in 2 years. I can't do it. I am I can't look at Rachel Notley. I can't look at Shannon Phillips. I can't look at anything to do with the NDP anymore. I'm done. All I want to do is make Alberta great again, and I refuse to leave this mess for my grandchildren. Back when I went to Mount Royal, I was famous for having assignments and doing them in the parking lot and handing them in, and I got A+ every time, so I'm hoping I can still pull it off today, because I was sitting down there writing notes. I'm going to look. All right, so a couple of days ago, my brother was coming out of the Legion, and there was a young man, and he was sitting on the sidewalk, and my brother just about walked past him. And instead he stopped, and he tapped him on the shoulder and startled him. The guy was asleep. And my brother said, "How are you?" And he said, "I'm tired. I'm really, really tired." And his story was, as my brother found out, first of all, my brother asked him if there was anything he could do for him. And he said, "I need a ride to my friend's house, please." He said, "I lost my home. I have nowhere to go other than my friends." And his stuff was piled into a shopping cart. And my brother said in no way was he didn't smell of alcohol, he hadn't been drinking, he looked very clean, he was just overwhelmingly sad. My brother said, "Let's load your stuff into my truck and I'll take you to your friend's house." So as they were loading my brother's truck, my brother was asking him questions, and he had worked as a painter, and I believe, anyhow, he was working in a contracting field, and after 5 weeks, he got $175. After 8 weeks of working, the company went under and he got nothing, and he was homeless. And my brother took him to his friends and he dropped him off. And he said, you know something? He said, I've had some really rough patches in my life, and prayer has always got me through. And this young man said, I really truly believe that because you're an angel. You came into my life today. And I think we all have to do that for all of our Albertans. I know there's ones out there that maybe don't. We need to be there for all of our fellow Albertans right now because we're all hurting. I'm 59 years old and I moved in with my mom, you know. I thank God tomorrow I'm leaving for a pipeline job. I am so ecstatic. I've actually worked 31 days in 13 months, so I'm thrilled that I get to do that, but we all are in certain places for a reason, and I do believe that you all, when you run into someone that has something to say, listen to them and be there for anybody who needs you right now, and we will get through this, and we're going to build Alberta back up again.
Thanks, Maureen. Thank you, Maureen. Appreciate your story. Well, we all have a story.
And all the money going from these, the food is going to the food bank. These are going to the Veterans Food Bank. So please, there's bracelets on the tables, and we'll have them here. So come find us, okay?
Thanks, Maureen. So one more thing, a talking point that was mentioned to me from the audience is that it should be mentioned that Alberta leads the way in environmental regulations and in research and development in the oil and gas industry across Canada. Every oil and gas company I worked at is always very highly sensitive to research and development projects and things that they can do to innovate and to adapt to technology as to optimize. So the fact that our current powers are telling us that we're not regulated, we're not taking care of our environment, it's just a whole lot of crap. We got to stand up and say absolutely not to that. We have actually been leading the way in environmental regulations. So let's stop this government from telling us how it is.
Let's get more vocal. Let's support the people that are working for your benefit. Let's stand up for these organizations here. There's some email address on here, or well, website address. Our Friends of Science here. They are our friends. They're standing up for reality. We got to make sure that we give them our support.
Right, so we do have a website here, albertawiderally.ca, carbontaxreferendum.ca. Through the site for the carbontaxreferendum.ca, contact us at petition@carbontaxreferendum.ca, and we will get you hooked up with the petition document. Follow us at albertawiderally.ca, and we will converse with you and talk with you and share updates with you. So we would like you to follow us on Facebook as well. So just look up our Alberta Wide Rally events on Facebook, and we'll help you to get connected with people in the organization.
And look up friendsofscience.org, www.friendsofscience.org, and you'll get facts that'll give you ammunition to allow you to stand up and speak up and make sure your government is representing reality.
That's right. Yes, thank you. We really appreciate our speakers today. Prasad Panda, who had to run a while back. Thank you very much, Prasad, for speaking for the people of Alberta as a member of the opposition party. We have a democracy here once again, and we do have an opposition party that is not afraid to represent the people. So thank you for that.
We are not picking up what the NDP are putting down right now, and we want to make sure that Alberta is rat-free again.
And in 2019, we cannot let another non-NDP government pass. So say no to the NDP in 2019. No NDP.
If they're not going to support us, we're not going to support them. As they drive around in their big black SUVs.
So we're talking about a march. We're talking about making this a more public statement by marching down 5th Avenue here to City Hall. I don't know about you guys, but after you sign the petition, I'm pretty cool with you guys all marching down to City Hall if you want to make a very public statement. We are free to do so. We have the sidewalk here upon which we can do that. I also want to hand off the mic here to our friend Amanda, who has a few words to say as part of the organizing team.
Thanks, Dwayne. Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's been a really informative day. I hope everybody learned some things that, a little ammunition for those people who will argue with you, because I get that all the time. I just want to thank everyone for coming out. We had a really good turnout. and it looked like about 600 or 700 people altogether. Don't forget to sign the petition. Again, email at petition@carbontaxreferendum.ca. If you can't sign here, you've got friends and family who didn't make it,
Bring
get
others
on
into the
there,
conversation.
email us, and make sure you can tell all your friends and family to get their signature on this petition. We don't want to send it in until we've got at least 500,000. There's 2.5 million people eligible to vote in the province of Alberta. We're only looking for 500,000 of those people. It's still going to be a challenge, so.
You got to get up off the couch, make sure that you're standing up and you're rationalizing.
Exactly, and further to that, after the rally, we also want to work together with some people who might be interested in getting the petition out in their own communities. If you go to the Facebook page, carbontaxreferendum.ca, you can put a post on there or send me a message and let me know if you're interested in helping out. Even a few area leaders, just to get it out to your communities, to your churches, to your leisure activities, these types of things. So we'd really appreciate that. The faster we get those signatures, the faster we can get it in. So I think we got a revolution on our hands, folks. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down with that. Revolution.
Right? And we're not, this is
Peaceful
not...
revolution.
Peaceful revolution. But this isn't the end, folks. We still have a lot of time until we get to election time. So we got to work hard for the next couple of years to do our very best to get these things into legislature, make things really difficult for them when it comes to election time. So thanks again, you guys. We really appreciate you coming out, and you're a real blessing to us. We've worked very hard across the province to make this happen, and I know I can speak for my fellow organizers all across the province that we are so blessed to have you turn out. And thank you very much.
So just another word here about the signs and stuff. We see that a few people are leaving the signs behind on the grass or whatever. If you could just stack them in a pile at the side of on the sidewalk here, or just off the sidewalk, that'd be greatly appreciated. We'll use them again because there will be more rallies.
We're taking them home. You can
Right?
take them home. We're taking
So
them home.
another thing too, if you want to take a protest walk down to City Hall, maybe accumulate in Olympic Plaza, that'd be a pretty good statement, much more public than we are right now. You see, there's no media. There's no media. There's been a few people who have been interviewing us in the crowd, but there's no media trucks.
Let's see what the mainstream media have to say.
Hold on. But so anyway, we hope to get some coverage in the media to show the people of Alberta that there is support for the non-supporters of the NDP government. There is support, so please do show your support. Walk with us, sign the petition, come to the website, interact with us, share your concerns, because we don't have all the answers, but we can tell you that neither does the Notley government. They don't have the answers. In fact, anything that they do turns to crap. So we can't have this anymore. We need to stand up for ourselves, the people of Alberta, the industry of Alberta. Right, so another thing too, if you're on the fence about, so for example, the political scenario right now going on is Jason Kenney, one of the federal cabinet ministers, former cabinet minister of Stephen Harper's government, has actually decided to leave his cushy federal job as a cushy member of parliament, and he's deciding to run what I call a suicide mission to get elected as the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. I'd say that's a pretty much a no-win scenario for him, but I'd say that he surprised me by gaining a crap load of support. I'll tell you something, we should stand by that guy and at least see him through to the leadership of that party, because he's not the old PCs. And I'm not here stumping for the PCs, but I'm telling you that I am stumping for the right, not the left. I'm stumping for the right and unite the right.
The PCs and the Wild Rose.
We got to stop this left socialism organization from running us into the ground. So in order to do that, we need to ensure that we have the support of the right, and that means that a united merger between the PC and the Wild Rose Party. That's something that's being talked about, supported by Jason Kenney, and is being talked about and supported by the Wild Rose as well. I've heard Brian Jean speak about it. He gives the PCs a wide leash because they haven't really decided on what they believe yet, and the Wild Rose has been very clear about their policies. So I would like to see the two of them talk. And we've actually been out to some beer nights with them and rubbed some shoulders with them when we see it happening. So, you know what, just a long-term strategy here for us in Alberta is to actually unite the right and bring together the two parties that were once running the show here. We don't want to go back to the same old, but we do need some new ideas here, and the NDP don't have it. Let's just face that, they don't have it.
Why are your memberships in the right parties?
Yeah, so if you're going to join a party or anything, you can even join the NDP for crying out loud. We can have a voice on all these parties, so I can highly encourage you, because I'm going to do that. I'm going to join all the political parties so I can have a say in what they do.
They kicked me out.
So anyway, thank you very much for coming today. If you have a moment, please sign the petition. If you have something to say to one of the organizers, please come on up and talk to us. If you want to address the rally, if you have something intelligent to say, please come up to talk. Or if you want to rally together and walk down to City Hall with us, that would be fantastic too. Thank you very much. Karen?
Yes, actually the rally does not stop today. Alberta-wide rally does go on. AlbertaWideRally.ca. You can join, register, become a member, and then next time we need to call upon our numbers to sign another petition, to rally again. Like Amanda said, from now till 2019, when the next election happens, the NDP government plans to do this overhaul on Alberta that will be irreversible in their eyes. So we need to stall all this movements, stop them, and like I said, log on to AlbertaWideRally.ca, register to become a member. That will put you on an email list when we need to call upon the rally again. Everyone is invited. We represent the 80% of Alberta that does not agree with the NDP. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
There he is.
You saw him?
Who's ready to go down to City Hall? I want, just to reflect on this, that oil used by everyone, everywhere, for everything. I want, put your thinking caps on right now, and let me know who here can think of one thing that's made strictly green and that does not require any oil or fossil fuel influence in its existence. Is there anything? Can somebody think of anything? Strictly green.
Basket.
Strictly green. No, okay, I gotta qualify that. I want, who can name me one modern, useful item that's used daily that is made strictly green and does not require any oil or fossil fuels in its its existence, and there's very little. Like,
Marijuana.
Get somebody, okay, maybe somebody will say, oh, how about an airplane? How about a D8 bulldozer? How about one of those cars over there? How about that building over there? How about... there's nothing. Leo DiCaprio's yacht. There is nothing that can be made strictly green. So why are we having this conversation? We got 40% of the world's oil. We're not getting any hotter. And yeah, let's all say it. We'll never get to the Jetsons by going back to the Flintstones in capability. All right, thanks. Let's all get together and go for a walk.
All right, thank you very much, Trevor. Here, I'm going to introduce, this is Ben. Ben is with a group called Albertans Against the NDP, and he wants to say a few words to you today.
Hi, folks. So I came out here. I wasn't feeling too good today, but I had to be here. Had to be part of this.
Thank you.
See these people getting together. So a couple things I wanted to say is the number one thing that the NDP did that really started messing this province up was that royalty review. Number one thing that they did was the royalty review. They absolutely scared away any investor with half a brain in their head, and they went away, and the second thing they did was they increased corporate tax from 10 to 12%. Now that doesn't sound like a really big thing, but I can tell you that's one of the worst things that they did, because the investors who invest in Alberta, these are people who are sitting down in New York and Toronto, and they don't see all of the nuances of what's going on in Alberta, or all they're looking at is raw numbers. And when they're looking at BC that has an 11% corporate tax rate, where do you think they're going to invest? Rachel Notley likes to say that she can't do anything about the price of oil, but I'm going to tell you something. The price of oil, WTI, is the same whether you're in Alberta, whether you're in Saskatchewan, whether you're in Manitoba, or whether you're in British Columbia. They can't do anything about it either, but the one thing she can do is she can promote an environment which is conducive to investment. Now, I've had the great privilege of working in the investment industry in a multiple of roles, and the thing is, every dollar that is generated in Alberta is generated by investment. Even,
Amen to that.
even taxes from people. Think, where do you get your salary from? You get it from a company.
Companies.
Private companies, not government-owned socialist companies. Private companies and entrepreneurs that start up here. And when people invest their money in Alberta, they pay it to their workers, and that goes back to the government in the form of personal tax. So if anybody comes up to you and says, the NDP, they say, corporate taxes and everything, we get all the burden is on the taxpayer, and it is. I'm one of those taxpayers, but I'll tell you, I get my income from private